Welcome back to another episode of Kamshaft, everyone. In this video, we're going to be putting a new, used, low-kilometer N54 in my 335. In the previous video, we actually blew the motor up after installing a single turbo kit. So in the future, we'll be building the old motor that blew up. But in this video, we're going to be showing you guys every single maintenance item you can hit and all the things you can do to bulletproof your N54 so you don't have any problems down the road. So the first thing we're doing is we're actually starting off by stripping the twin turbos, the wiring harness, basically down to the block. We want to get rid of those pesky twin turbos, and we're going to change every single seal on this engine because, as you probably already know, BMWs like to leak. So in this clip now, I'm opening up the valve cover. This is kind of like the turning point where I'm really seeing what kind of condition this motor is and how well it's been taken care of. Damn! That's a hell of a lot cleaner than my motor. Use coconut. Right around 100,000 clicks, your intake valves will start to look like that. And that is not the end of the world, but you will start to notice a decrease in power, fuel economy. So our first big ticket maintenance item is going to be walnut blasting this engine. And basically we're just removing all this carbon from the intake valves. So after putting Amy hard to work, the next thing we went ahead and did was a compression test and a leak down test just to verify that this motor is nice and tight. That's good. So you guys can see I've got the motor flipped over now. I'm going to go ahead and be removing all of my oil pan bolts. And we're going to be removing the oil pan and replacing the gasket. So after getting this oil pan all torqued up, we threw on a new valve cover and a new gasket, as it's really common for the valve covers to crack, gaskets to leak. Next, we replaced the front and the rear main seal. These are really common ticket items that I can pretty much guarantee are leaking on your car if they haven't been done before. After we got those front and rear mains finished up, we went ahead and threw all new idlers and a tensioner on this thing. This is not something you want to fail, as the belt can get sucked into the motor. We also threw on my full metal water pump and a new thermostat. Got the valve cover done, all torqued up. Oil pan gasket, all jammed on. I put a little bit of anaerobic on both sides. This plastic coolant flange is the next thing that you will need to change. It will either leave you stranded, or when you go to change your oil filter housing gasket, you have to remove it to this bolt, and you're probably going to break it. So this one kind of broke, but that's basically usually what happens. A lot of times it actually gets stuck in there and then push it out. Alright guys, the N54 is prepped, and it is getting jammed in. The last few ticket items we did that we didn't cover was we actually replaced the Vano solenoid gaskets. We also replaced all the spark plugs with two-step colder ones. The oil filter housing gasket was the last thing we changed before we had this motor ready to go. Alright you guys, the motor is in. Shout out to Liam for coming in clutch with the dress shirt, helping me out. I've got all the charge piping rigged up, some of the wiring on, most of the wiring on. Pretty much at this point, my next step is going to be to test my old injectors, see which ones are leaking, and then we're gonna go from there. So guys, we are currently testing these injectors, and it's not looking like any of them are leaking. All right, we're gonna start this pile of crap up. We're gonna let it run and see what happens. Votes. How long is the motor gonna last?
24 hours. 10 seconds.
24 years.
No, I'm just saying, it'll last. Oh, that's right. It's the aim! You know what I say?
Say that.
What a coon.
All right, the 335 is back together. We're gonna take it out for the first log. Yeah, it's on the base tune, so we're gonna do the first log and we're gonna see what happens. You think it'll go well? It's been running. We took it for a little rip, no leaks. So we're gonna take it for the shakedown. We got Jay Wheelie here.
What's up?